devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
On to his father's. I spoke with his man.
That same pale, hard-hearted wench, Rosaline, torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman told Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that could write may answer a letter.
Nay, you'll answer the letter's master. How he dares being dared.
Romeo's already dead. Shot through with the white wench's black eye. Shot through the ear with a love song. The very pin of his heart cleft by the blind bowboy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why? What is Tybalt?
More than just prince of cats. He's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as using prick song, keeping time, distance, and proportion. He rests as men rests, 1, 2, and a third in your bosom. The very butcher of a silk button, a duelist. A duelist. A gentleman of the first and second house of the first cause. The immortal Passado, the Punto Reverso, the high.
The what?
Such antic lisping phantasmes, these new tuners of accents. By Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why, it's not a lamentable thing, grandchire, that we should be so afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these pardons, who stand so much in the new form, they cannot sit at ease on the old bench. On their bones, their bones!
Here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe like a dried herring, O flesh, how thou art fishified. Dido a dowdy, Cleopatra a gypsy, Helen and Hero, Hildy and harlot. This be a grey eye or so, going out to the point. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in a case such as mine, one may strain a little bit of courtesy.
That's as much as to say that such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hands.
You mean to curtsy?
That was most kindly hidden.
A most courteous exposition.
Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower?
Right.
Well then, is my pump well flowered?
Sure wit. Follow me in this jest till thou hast worn out thy pump. Then, when the soul of it is worn, the jest shall remain after the wearing is solely singular.
A single-souled jest, solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us, good Benvolio, my wit things.
Switch and spurs, or I'll call myself a match.
If our wits run the wild goose chase, I'm done. For thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than I'm sure I have in my whole 5. Was I there with you for the goose?
Nay, thou was not with me for anything, then thou was not with me for the goose.
I'll bite thee by the ear for that jest.
Nay, good goose, bite not.
Thy wit is a very bitter sweeting, a most sharp sauce.
And is it not served in the sweet goose?
Oh, here's a wit of Cherville that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I take that word broad, which, added to the goose, proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
Is this not better than groaning for love? Now thou art Romeo, thou art sociable. Art thou what thou art? By art as well as by nature. For this great dithering love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
Stop there.
Thou wouldst have me cut my tail against the hair.
Thou wouldst also print thy tail large.
Thou art deceived, I'd have made it short. I'd almost come to the end of my point and meant indeed to occupy the argument no further.
Oh, there's goodly here.
A sail.
2, a shirt and a smock.
Peter!
Anon.
My fan, Peter.
For her face, Peter, for her fan's the fairer face.
God ye good morrow, gentlemen.
God ye good e'en, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good e'en?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the body hand of the dial is just upon the prick of you.
Out upon you, what a man are you?
One God hath made, milady, himself to mark.
By my troth, it is well said. For himself to mark, quoth he. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell thee, but young Romeo will be older when you found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of the worse.
You say well.
Yea is the worst, well, very well took, in faith. Wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will invite him to supper.
A bawd, so ho!
What hast thou found?
Not a hair, sir, unless a hair servant a Lenten pie, one that stales and whores ever be spent. Will you come to your father's, or will to dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, lady, lady, lady.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his roguery?
A gentleman, good nurse. One who loves to hear himself talk. He could speak more in a minute than he could stand to in a month.
Can he speak anything against me, I'll take him down. And you were lustier than he is in 20 such jacks, and if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave. I am none of his flirt skills. I am none of his skeins mates. And thou must stand by too, and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure?
I saw nobody use you for his pleasure. If I had, my woman should have been out. I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as I see another man in a good crow. And I will on my side.
Now, for God, I'm so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word. And as I bid you, my lady bid me inquire you out. What she bade me say I should keep to myself. But let me tell ye, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore if you should deal double with her, it were a very ill thing to be offered to any young gentlewoman, and a very weak dealing.
Commend me to my lady and mistress. I protest unto thee
Good
that...
heart, good faith, I will tell her as much. Lord, Lord, be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her? Thou dost not mark me.
Well, I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is the gentlemanlike offer.
And bid her some device to come to the strip this afternoon. And there, at Friar Lawrence's cell, she will be shrived and married. Here's for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to. I say you shall.
Oh, well, this afternoon, sir. She shall be there.
And stay, good nurse. Behind the abbey walls in the hour, my man shall be there with a cord tied like a tackled stair. And this, to the high-top gown of my joy, shall be my convoy to the secret night. Farewell. Be trusty, and I will quit thy pains. Farewell. Commend me to my lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Oh, hark ye, sir. Is your man secret? Did you ne'er hear say, two may keep counsel, putting one away?
I warrant you, my man is true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. My, it was a little prating thing. Oh, there was a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard, but she, good soul, had a sleep see a toad, a very toad to see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the fairer gentleman, but I warrant when I do so, she turns as pale as any clout in the versal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo both begin with a letter?
Aye, nurse, what of that? Both with an R.
Oh, Mocker, that's the dog's name. R is for the... No, I know it begins with some other letter, and she has the prettiest sententious of it of you and Rosemary that it would do you good to hear it.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter! Before it apace.